Welcome back to Terry TV. So glad that you were tuning in. I just love doing this show. I'm bringing you some of my all-time favorite people. And today I'm going to bring someone that I've known for a number of years that I just totally resonate with. I follow her. I read what she writes. I read her emails. I read her social media posts. I just think she's one of the most beautiful beings on the planet, and I know that you're going to enjoy her immensely. I've worked with her for many years now, and I have to tell you that she brings just a completely different perspective, and I'm going to say that from my heart. I've met a lot of people who teach people how to be successful and how to be more profitable, and they talk about helping people with an inner game, but my guest, Esateys, really does this. She will help you have more success, more meaning, a more sustainable business, and more profitable business. And I have to also tell you that her wisdom is invaluable. Every time I look at my emails, if there's a newsletter that she's written, if there's an email, I want to read it. For over 30 years, she's been an entrepreneurial and mindset coach, and her mission is to empower wealth through personal development. I don't know anybody else with that mission. Esateys is a visionary, she's a master facilitator, and she has an uncanny ability where she can see the bigger picture, and she takes that knowledge and empowers her clients to create not only the lifestyle that they really want to create, but also the business that they can fall in love with. Esateys originated from the term inside business. I'm going to get into that with her today. She's mastered how this is the key to creating powerful and successful businesses and careers. My friend, my guest, Esateys. Welcome to Terry TV.
I'll tell you, I feel like I'm about to get an Academy Award or something. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. And I really mean this from the heart. I mean, I talk to lots of people, and I know lots of people that say they help with personal development and empowerment and spiritual things. There's just a whole different level that you brought it to. There's just a whole different way of who you are and how you are being. Because people can talk and then they can show up differently than what they say. And I've always found you to be authentic and in integrity and just truly coming out at a real transparent way in what your mission and vision are. So it is an Academy Award that you deserve.
Well, thank you. Before I let you continue, I just have to, and I'm sure that anyone who is watching absolutely knows, and that is, we are really terrific mirrors because you are very authentic, so real. No matter what's going on with you, you're like right to it, and I love that about you. I feel it's like a really big mutual admiration society here because you are whom it is that I love being connected to. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I never knew, in all the time that I've known you, that Esateys had to do with inside business. I'm like, what? I had not a clue about that. So tell me a little bit more. What does that really mean? What does it mean to you? What should it mean to us?
Well, inside business is a term that I have coined because I work with people really about what's going on inside of themselves. So I'm a business person, I'm an entrepreneur, I work with people that do the same thing, but most everyone is telling each other or how to get a better business plan, get a new funnel, get a Facebook, ad campaign or whatever. And I do think all those things are incredibly important. The key is that if you don't know what's going on inside of yourself, all of these outer things are not going to be as effective or perhaps effective at all like you would like them to be.
That's so true. And it's interesting because whenever I start with a client, I always start talking about the inner game, line up the inner game. And I was just with somebody earlier this morning and she said, I just want the actions. I want more leads and more prospects. And I just want to know how to do that. And I said, no, not yet. And she said, what do you mean? And I said, your inner game isn't even ready to accept those coming to you. So I totally agree with that. What are people doing that's not allowing them to be inside like that?
Well, the majority of people, first of all, don't have an awareness. Many people don't have an awareness of what's going on in here is what's going on over there. And therefore, what occurs, that they're looking what's happening out here instead of what's really core. What are the belief systems that are going on about, you say, I really want to be successful, but in your heart, you don't feel successful. You don't feel like you can be successful. Perhaps your mother or your father or society or something gave you that you weren't really who you would like to be. And that is weighing, if you will, on how we are experiencing our outer world. Our business isn't effective if we don't have a mindset and a clarity about ourselves.
That's so important. It's so important. So, we've got viewers that are maybe thinking of starting a business, some that maybe recently started. Then we've got people who are successful, people whose businesses are stagnant, people who need a turnaround. What can they take from this? Because they all want to supercharge their business in some way. What's something they can do?
Would you say that last sentence again?
What's something they can do, an action they can take?
Okay. What's really important is, first of all, have an awareness that the world is in a place that is really reflecting back how you feel. And I know that some of the things I may speak about are a little bit, you said at the beginning, I'm a little bit more of a macro girl. And because of that, what I've learned is that when we have a clear understanding about what we feel, then we'll have a better understanding about what's going on in the outer world. So the things that people want to do is they want to be aware of what they're feeling, what they're thinking. That little voice that is not so kind so much of the time. And so what they can do is they start with awareness. And when they have awareness, then they have the ability to start to make some changes.
Beautiful, beautiful. So got to start with awareness. Can you give us maybe a couple of tips if we're sitting here going, I need to have my business become more successful. I really need some help. Can you give us maybe 3 of your top tips?
So for some reason, I'm just not hearing you as well as I would like. I'm sorry for that.
Okay,
so
3 top tips.
Okay.
3 top tips that you can give us.
Oh, 3 top tips. Okay, so here's the thing. Success originates from in here. Your outer world, your business is going to be successful if you experience yourself as successful. It has to come from inside. So the inner world is creating success in your outer world. The second thing is that your mindset rolls. What you're thinking about is what it is that's going to affect and create what it is that you're experiencing. So you can say you want a lot of things, but if your mind is simultaneously saying, that's really hard, I can't do that, this is going to be a real problem, whatever that mindset, that perception is going to really affect that. For example, you may decide that you want to be making $10,000 a month, but your mind is thinking, this is a really hard business. And look at all the comparisons. Most people really don't make that much, but I really am going to be the exception. But you don't believe it. You don't feel it. So your headset and your perception about what you're doing is directly affecting the results that you're experiencing. And the third thing is that the universe is always, 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 always conspiring for your success, for your gift, for you feeling great. And sometimes it doesn't look like that. Sometimes it seems like things aren't working well when we don't understand that it's developing our own persistence, or it's developing our patience, or it's developing other areas of growth. And many times we have to walk through the jungle to get to the castle. And many people will give up. They don't feel like they can really have what it is they want, so they quit. They give up. And when you really have core in your being that the universe is conspiring to support me, is conspiring to have my life be awesome, then you can always hold on to that in those moments when, being an entrepreneur can be, a little challenging occasionally, but that's when we keep going.
Exactly. Oh, those are brilliant tips. I think it's so important that people really do breathe in that the universe is conspiring for your better, for your greatest good, for your success. And also, something else you said that's important is, business is cyclical, just like life. We're going to have the things that seem up and the things that seem like struggles. And it's about continuing to keep our belief high that things are going to work out for the greatest good, and just staying in that energy. So where can someone begin now that they've heard this, which is so foundational? Now what?
Now it becomes back, we'll go back to that word awareness. So first of all, you have an awareness and you have an understanding that what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and what you're doing are all related. And you can do a whole bunch of things, but if you're not clear about what it is that you truly desire, because many times people are living the life of their mother, their father, the society that says, oh, I should be doing this, but in their heart they want to be doing something else. When there's conflict like that, success does not occur, because the conflict of what you're thinking and what you're feeling and what you're doing are not aligned. And therefore, it's very important to, I know I keep repeating this, to have awareness. And once you have that awareness, then it's important to really get real with yourself. Really get real with yourself. Write down what it is you would do if you had no money consideration. What would you do if you were paid millions of dollars to do what you love to do, or if you didn't have to ever worry about money? And look at that very honestly. And then look at how that feels. How does it feel to be living that dream? How does it feel to be speaking to people? Or for some people, it's, taking care of their children. And for some people, it's whatever it is for them. They might be a brain surgeon. But whatever it is, how does it feel in the body? And sometimes we have to slow down to know what's happening in our bodies. We have to really stop. Taking 5 or 10 minutes twice a day and just breathing in and breathing out very slowly, like to the count of 5 or whatever, will help us start to feel what's going on in our body. And when we recognize what's happening in our body, we start to see, does what I wrote down, what my heart wants, and match with how the body feels, and then see what you're doing is related to the two of those things. Because many times we really want to be doing this, but we're actually doing this, and our heart isn't in it, our passion isn't in it, the love of ourselves is not in it, and therefore we have all kinds of conflict going on.
This is so relevant. It's interesting. I know I oscillate with you so much. I'm listening to you talk, and I'm like, yes, this is totally what I feel. I think awareness that you have mentioned is a key word. I think it's a really important word. And I think the simplest thing, like you said, we don't have to go into a deep meditation. We can just stop. We can get present. We can breathe. The slowing down, I'm glad you mentioned that. It seems like people are rushing, like to do everything, whether it's they've got to get their kids somewhere, they've got to take their dog somewhere. They're just rushing. I want to do social media. I want to do my work. And I really think they're losing presence, and I mean presence in both ways, the gifts of life and business, as well as being present and really enjoying in the moment and being in the moment. And that awareness is so critical. It's interesting also, another thing that you were talking about that really resonated is I know a lot of people, and I'm sure there's a lot of viewers, see if that's you, that are probably doing something that you don't want to be doing for your job or your career or your business. And I really believe that any of us can make money any which way under the planet. There's millions of ways to make money as long as you're in alignment and you're aware of what choice you have and doing what feels good and what feels right. I could have stayed tied in my corporate job because they paid me a lot of money and they pumped up my ego, and I wasn't happy and I wasn't satisfied. The minute I started doing what I really didn't care if I got paid to do or not, but I just did it because I loved doing it and wake up every morning and wanting to do more of it, everything in my life changed. So what you're saying is a true gift, Esateys. Thank you. I want to get to something that's going to be a little different spin. So let's say we're becoming very aware and we're making these shifts because we're thinking we're making them for our business. How else does it affect us in our personal development and our personal lives? Does it?
Oh, Absolutely. I mean, are you kidding me? It's like it affects every single area of your life. Because if you take these principles and you utilize them with every area of your life, like your relationships and with your children or your social friends and all of those things, if you really recognize how scattered most people are, they don't really know what it is they're feeling, so they're not present in their relationship. They're not present with the other areas of their life. So when you take these core principles, it's not just about business. It's going to completely transform your business. But when you realize and you start living these principles, what happens is that you change in here. And it goes back to what we started speaking about at the beginning. When you change in here, the outer world changes out here. And therefore, you'll find yourself able to communicate with people in a way that you never have before, because you're really clear about who you are and what you want and where you're going. And that passion, that commitment to follow through with what's inside of you, then reflects everywhere else, and all the areas of your life are going to change. Now, I have to give a little word of caution here, because when a person really gets this and goes, okay, I'm after it, well, then what occurs many times is their partner may go, who are you? What just happened to you? And that can be a little challenging at times for people. So I always recommend that people speak to each other, communicate, what an idea, and say, I just made this aha, and I'm going to start doing that. Not that the other person has to do it, but they have a heads up that you have a new commitment. You have a new passion. I'm committed to know myself so my business can be more successful. I'm committed to knowing myself and communicating more clearly and more openly with you, because I want our relationship to be more awesome than ever. And I realize that when I'm really being connected to how I'm feeling and what I'm thinking and what I'm doing in this way, then I can be a better partner for you. I can have a more successful business. I can be with the kids differently than I ever had before, and all of those things. And when you can envelop your family and your community with that, not necessarily telling them because you don't want them going like, don't try to tell me what to do, but you are just sharing, this is what's going on with me, and I'm so excited because my life is changing now. So I can be more alive in life.
More alive, more alive. So, very important. I'm going to share something very transparently because I'm very comfortable with you and I'm comfortable with the viewers. When I first started doing a lot of personal development, I actually started at age 16, and by age 22, I was really into it. I think I scared the pants off my husband. I really do. He's known me since I'm 16. We've been dating since we're 17. We got married at 22. And all of a sudden, we're much more conscious. I'm more spiritual. I'm more involved, more enlightened, whatever we want to call that. And I didn't really have conversation with him. He would just see me go off to these events or retreats and come back and go, oh my gosh, what do I do with this? And what really occurred for me, and I'll just share it, was not to look for him to change, to allow him to be who he is, be comfortable with who he is, accept who he is, and I'm doing whatever I'm doing on my journey. And just to share, I share my journey with him, my unfolding, and I allow him to, he's not coachable, he doesn't want to be coached, he doesn't like going to personal development things. I let him do his thing. But I think there's something in there that people really need to hear and really need to embrace, because it can be scary if you have one person that is beginning to really become more awake and more aware. Would you agree?
Absolutely. And it takes a real commitment. It takes like a mastery, because most people in general want everybody to do what they do. They want them to think like they do, even though they don't.
Yes. Yes.
And because it makes us feel comfortable. If people are mirroring what we think is right, then we feel safe. Mm-hmm. And when we have the strength and the clarity to say, You do what it is that you would like to do. I'm going to be who I am. And as long as we're not, making each other wrong for that, and we're allowing of each other, it's a beautiful thing, which is why you have such a beautiful relationship, because there's that openness there. There's the honesty in both directions, and the control to get other people, each person, to be different. When that goes away, you can have any relationship.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I meet all kinds of people, clearly, as do you, and I just accept people for wherever they're at. I mean, if they want personal development, that's awesome. If they want those tools and resources, and if they don't, that's just as awesome. We're all here for our own experience. Mine is no better than yours, and I don't have a judgment robe that I was given to decide who is making the right decisions. So, yeah, I appreciate my husband. He's so comfortable in his world.
I'd like to interject something about business around that, if I may.
Please.
And that is that when we may be looking for customers or clients or whatever we're looking for, it's really important that we allow them that same thing that we're speaking about. Not everybody is going to be a fit. And if we make it personal, they don't like my company. They don't, we start making it personal. We start feeling not so very good about ourselves and then our business, and we become discouraged. So it's very important not to make it personal, but rather to recognize that the perfect people and the perfect clients will come just exactly like they're supposed to. That's that back to the piece that we're talking about. The universe is always trying to support you.
Yes.
When we realize that, then we realize that we're going to go to a lot of people, perhaps, in what it is that we're doing. It doesn't mean that we're bad. It doesn't mean our business isn't good. It doesn't mean we're not doing things right. It means that some people are going to be aligned and some people aren't, and some people are going to have a need for what you have right now. Maybe it'll be later, maybe it'll be never. But it's very critical from my viewpoint to keep our attitude up, to keep ourselves in a different headspace, back to the mindset, a mind space that allows us to really recognize that it's not about converting the whole world, into our business. It's about recognizing that we have something so special. It's so unique that there's those people that are so special and so unique that align with that will come to us. And that is how we're going to have our success, if we allow for that rather than criticize our business or ourselves wrong, or them perhaps, I don't want that person around me anyway. And so, but that's just a justification to make us feel better about feeling hurt.
True. I really appreciate you saying that. I mean, I really do believe that the perfect people show up at the perfect time. And if I just keep doing what I do and loving what I do and sharing what I do, it's sort of like if I offered people lemonade, some people are going to be thirsty right now and say yes. Some people might be thirsty 3 months from now. Some people might not like lemonade. And all of that is perfect. That's my lemonade analogy.
I like it.
Good. Now, I want to get into one more thing before we have to cut, and I hate to leave you, but you have this very interesting tagline. I'm an advocate for you. Tell us about that tagline, please.
I love that tagline because it lets me express how I feel about people and their business and their personal lives. I do a lot of coaching with people that really I've noticed over the years that I've done this, that people really desire to feel heard, to be recognized, to feel like somebody's in their lane, somebody's there as an advocate for them. Even if what they're doing isn't necessarily in their best interest or what it is they say they want, it's still very important that they're heard. And when you're an advocate for someone, for me, what that means is that I care about people. And if you want to be very successful, then you have to really have a caring. It doesn't mean you have to be Mother Teresa or any of that. I know some guys may be listening and going, really? But it's a matter of what's in your heart. Rather, it is that you really have an understanding that not everyone is the same. And if people come from the places grew up being programmed, if you will. And when you have that sense of understanding, then what you can do is you can be an advocate for them by just saying, hey, I hear what it is you're saying. I get it. I'm hearing you. And then, and you can also use, of course, the thing that we all know about if we've been in business, which is, I understand how you feel. I have felt that same way too. And this is what I found. And when you use that feel, felt, found experience, it really helps people feel like you're with them and you're not just shutting them out or making them wrong or trying to shove some kind of clothes on them, but rather you're there with them. So being an advocate for you means that I hear you. I really care about whether you are successful or whether you're not. And I'm very excited about helping share the pieces that it's kind of like the hidden inside business pieces that most people don't know are an extremely powerful and important part of success in any area of life.
I think there's nothing more important than really having someone hear you, like really hearing you. I remember, this is going back years ago, I had a consultant in the art business that Mark and I owned that we brought in. She was a sales consultant. And I remember one day I was explaining something to her. She wasn't really paying close attention. And she went, "I hear you." And she said it just like that, "I hear you." And I said, "I'm not asking you to hear me, that your ears are working. I know they work. I'm asking you to hear me on a deep level, right, where you're tuned in and you get me and you feel me." And she didn't relate. And we knew it was not a good fit because of that. I'm so in tune with having my own desire to be heard and then really being able to hear other people, not just their words, but what's underneath the words. So when you say I'm an advocate for you, I literally like get goosebumps because I know that you are there to truly hear people, and that's so important. It's not just a tagline. It just says to me who Esateys is in the world, and I appreciate you and value you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I know that a lot of people's lives are transformed by us just being kind and us being in a caring position for them, whether it be on the street or whether it's in business, and allowing them their life the way it is that they choose to live it, even if it's not the way we think, like you were speaking about with you and your husband, which I think is so beautiful. It's very awesome. And I really get how much you love him.
I do, sure do. And it's also important to me what you were saying about just being kind and being gentle. I try to make it a point when I'm out in public to smile at people. You know, people are heads down, rushing around, or maybe they have some real tragedy and things going on at home or in their lives or with their health. I don't know them. I just know that we can all use a friendly smile. And I've had people actually, you know, at first not even want to smile back to me, and then sometimes they smile at me and I see this little glisten in their eye like, wow, somebody noticed me. And I think that's something really small we can all do.
One of the things that I often say to people that I have worked with is I ask them, how many people are you going to love on today?
Oh, I love that.
And in fact, it's one of the things that it's a daily question that I ask for some of the people I'm in a long-term program with. And I ask them, how many people are you going to love on today? Because when you think about that and you're conscious of it, you'll make a point of reaching out to people, and it might just be a smile. It might be a door. It might be saying, oh my gosh, I love that box. It might be something like your hair is so gorgeous. Oh, your child is cute. You know, what? It's the simplest of things, but it makes a difference for people. And it really tells people that who they are makes a difference in the world. So the question that we could ask ourselves every day is, how many people am I going to make a point on loving today? And it might be through text, it might be through Messenger, it could be your Facebook Live, it could be just on the street, wherever it is. Your business is going to thrive when you feel great about you. And when you feel great about you, it's because you're more caring and open with other people. And that will make a very significant difference in your success.
I have to really thank you. We've gone to so many different places on this interview, and we've really gone to just things that are so in line with the whole inner game that will make a huge difference to people's businesses. I've loved every moment. I can't thank you enough for being here today.
I'm so honored, literally, to be here with you. It's really a gift. And I'm just appreciative, and I hope that the people that are watching really find that inner place inside of them where they get to know that you and I and so many others in the world, including the universe, are conspiring to make their lives even more awesome than they already are.
That is a great message for us to end this segment with. Thank you again, Esateys, and thank you for our viewers. Thanks for tuning in today to Terry TV.